Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Whoever's in the chat right now, let me know 1 out of 10. What do you rank this episode? Let me know. Hey, 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 we Loki, gang, 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 gang. You know it's gang, 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 gang. It's Loki, gang, 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 gang. What's up, though? Come on, bruh. What's up, bro? I just want to let you guys know, bro, I literally just left the gym. Okay? Just left the gym. I'm usually asleep right now or in bed replying to comments I've a posted reaction, but we are here talking about Loki episode 6, the finale. And I'm seeing so far, some of y'all ranking this thing right now 9s, 9.5, 10, you know? Yeah. Look, bro, look, man, we have a lot to talk about. A lot. This be the vibe though, right? Hey, 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 hey. Loki, gang, 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 gang. Bruh, come on, bruh. S said this was legit bigger than Thanos snap and it aired on Disney Plus. Laugh, man. I don't know if it was legit bigger than the Thanos snap. Come on, bruh. Stop it. Look, no capping allowed around here, bruh. We gotta keep things in stack around here. But this is crazy, okay? We're gonna wait for a little bit more people to get in this thing before we start popping. If you guys are in this thing, man, make sure you smack the like button, bro. Smack the like. Show that love. It's free to do, by the way. And it helps the channel. Let's get this thing out there. Let's get this thing out there. We need some other people in this chat. We got Kang said, hi, how are you? My name is Sally. Is it Sally? By the way, explosion series. I don't know what that means, but okay. Well, we got a lot of 9 out of 10s in the chat right now. Is that how y'all really feeling about this episode? The Thanos snap happened in one timeline. This is multiple timelines at play. Of course. But the impact it had on the audience is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking about the actual story and what it's going to impact, sure. But the audience impact, the snap was, I think, still far superior. But I know a lot of y'all came here. We're talking about this today. We're talking about Loki, episode 6, the finale. Thoughts, certain things we saw in the episode, things we liked, things we didn't like, theories. So if you guys haven't seen the episode, make sure you guys come back. Come back later and then enjoy this at another time. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But for those that are here that have seen the episode, man, we're talking about some things. And I'm going to be honest, man, the beginning of this episode was lames. Why? You have the opening credit with all of the voices. I was like, what's going on? This is different. You know, the Wakanda Forever and all this stuff that we heard from the movies. All the voices, all the moments from the movies. And then we have this shot right here where, you know, my man's come out. Let me just mute this for me. It zooms out and it shows the universe that it's in, bro. That universe, right? You're like, oh, that's a universe, right? But hold on, bro. What we talking about, though? You see it kind of spiraling there, explosion-wise, right? Whoop, and then we hear. I was like, what's this? Right? Then I'm like, okay. But then we had this other shot where I was like, are y'all trying to show another universe? What's going on? This is kind of wild. I just thought that entrance was crazy. I thought that entrance was crazy. How y'all feel about the intro? Just the intro by itself, bro. How was you feeling about the intro? The intro was kind of wild. Duma said love the way the actor played Kane Copy. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But that intro was kind of wild, guys. The intro was kind of wild. I really did enjoy the intro. You know, obviously the whole sequence of them waiting outside, that was cool. But when they get inside the actual thing, because it opens up, you're like, what? It opened up. It was almost like ID4. Remember ID4 when it's like, it's opening up, and the shit just, it opened up by itself. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Somebody said, come inside, take this L. That's kind of what I thought was gonna happen. You walk in and you see these massive statues here with clocks as faces. I thought that was dope. I was like, yo, what does that mean? What does that mean? Why these statues got clocks for faces? What does that even mean? Because like the idea of it was like, all right, so is that some kind of timekeeper reference? You know what I mean? Is that supposed to be like a timekeeper reference to these statues with faces on them? I was like, what does that mean? And then the swindle of all swindles, we got Miss Minute in here like, what's up, bro? I'm here. I really would, that caught me off guard. Who was surprised that Miss Minutes just popped up like, oh, what's up, bitch? I'm in this thing. Was anybody surprised about that? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting Miss Minutes just to pop up in the middle of nowhere. Like, oh, what's up? I'm back. And she got sass to her too. She like, look, I can give you what, he can give you what you want. You want this? You want this? Sylvie was like, man, that shit fairy tale. That ain't even real. You know who Disney makes this. This is a fairy tale. What? You know Marvel's a Disney property? Come on, man. I thought that was really clever. Demon said me. He said, yeah, I was surprised. Bro, I was really surprised. I did not expect that to be a thing. To be completely honest. I thought that was really dope. And hopefully, obviously as this moves forward, I wonder if she's going to play a future role in, the future of the Loki series, which is really interesting because this is the first time, guys. This is the first time that we've got a definitive second season of any of the Marvel shows. None of the Marvel shows showed a second season, right? Didn't tease it. I don't think anything's been announced. But this, they were like, look, see, y'all saw the end. Season 2. Loki will return in season 2. So I thought that was really interesting. We'll talk about timeline and how this fits into other things and stuff, because I think there's a lot more that could be panning out because of Loki outside of the things that we know, right? So we'll get into that in a little bit. As said, knew there was more to her than it seemed, but that legit jump scared me. Yo, it was like her visual tone, bro. She just had like this very like mysterious, like, I don't know. She just a sneaky vibe to her, bro. I'm like, But I like how they revealed her. You know, she wasn't as crazy as, she wasn't a big, oh my God, as like Agatha Harkness, right? It wasn't like, I've been planning this all along. But they started to show more of, every time they started to show more of Miss Minutes, you were just kind of like, this bitch, something crazy, something's up with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just knew something, like, you not really a team player right now. Something's going on, right? Doomsday says she seemed dark. Exactly. Like, the more that you saw her, you were like, oh, like, something's going on with her, right? For sure. Now the thing is, like, I wonder what she gave Renslayer. That's a whole other thing. We still don't know about that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I mean, I love this sequence though. Anytime Miss Minutes was on, bro, I was kind of captivated, to be completely honest with you. I was like, yo, this is kind of wild. She just has a vibe to her that I really enjoy. And yeah, she's a really cool character. Joseph said she sounded sinister, like she was plotting. Facts. I mean, we see right here where she's, you know, downloading files. She's downloading files to Renslayer's thing. She's like, oh, these are the files that, you know, I wanted to get. Come to find out they weren't the files. She's like, oh, this is, what is this? She's like, oh, this is something else. I need you to check this out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So my thing is now is like, what does Miss Minutes know? You know what I'm saying? Was she going along with the plan of the unnamed head guy? The unnamed? Come on, bro. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, definitely something that was interesting to me. I enjoyed that quite thoroughly, actually. They said, true, Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't get a second season, but got Captain America 4 confirmed. Correct. But as far as a TV show, right, we didn't, like, obviously, WandaVision would not be, there wouldn't be a second season of WandaVision, right? That wouldn't make sense. And obviously, Captain America Winter Soldier, we know Captain America has a new movie coming out. Cool. But this was the first time we got an actual second season announcement immediately. Like, oh, okay. So we didn't know if there was going to be another season of Wanda, of some kind of Wanda show, right? So I'm liking this a lot. Obviously, that's leading over to movie stuff, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And some of these things I feel are going to be happening simultaneously. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well. Dubna said the voice actress was really good for Miss Minutes. You know she's Timmy Turner, by the way. For those that don't know, the voice actress that plays Miss Minutes plays Timmy Turner in Fairly Odd Parents. So, kudos. That is a level up if I've ever seen one. You know what I mean? That's amazing. Mo011 says, how do you rate the 3 shows? I'll give you my rating and later. I want to talk about this more, and you know, we can really talk about how this episode either ties up things in the rest from the beginning, the previous episodes in the series, or maybe doesn't deliver the way we may wanted to or hoped to have certain questions answered. Now, obviously, the big reveal was this unnamed character. Unnamed character. I don't know why I linked on this side with this eye, but that's what I did. Don't worry about what I'm doing. This unnamed character shows up, and I loved his personality. Let me know in the chat, 1 out of 10, what do you rank his portrayal of this character? Like his charisma, his attitude, his personality. How did you rank it? Because for me, it was like a 9 out of 10 for me. I loved this character so much. So much. This character was so fire to me. Let's see. Joseph said, I feel like Loki might be in the new Doctor Strange madness of the, you meant Multiverse of Madness, but yes, 100%. Could be. Bree said, could she be one of the variants of the unknown? Not sure. Doomday said 9. Fluffy said 9.5. Everyone expected Kang, but love how they subverted expectations with his personality. Well, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this because we'll talk about this. Joker, 8 Monkey Gaming says a 10. I just loved how this character just came to life. Personality was so good, and it was awesome because you needed that kind of personality opposite Loki's wittiness, right? And you've seen Loki in the series, right? So you guys can kind of get an idea. Loki becomes in this series who he becomes at the at the beginning of Endgame, Infinity War. The beginning of Infinity War when he dies, right? That's this Loki. Like this Loki's, 6 episode arc in the show is the Loki that we see die in Endgame. That one that's going to sacrifice himself for his brother. You know what I'm saying? That he cares. He's that person now, right? So it's really dope that he gets to his personality, to his character arc, even though it's a different route. His character arc still gets to that developed caring Loki that we get at the beginning of Infinity War. So I really, really enjoyed watching him in this. And to be honest, this was the first time in any of the episodes that I really felt Middleton's emotional delivery. Like I really felt like he was really, really solid in this episode. Like really good. Loki smacked. He said Jonathan did good. Just didn't like 2 lines he said. Doomday said, yeah, Loki changed. I just loved them doing this for sure. Now, some of the cool moments obviously take place at the TVA. And the TVA, my man, what's his name? Mobius. Not Morpheus, but Mobius comes in and confronts Renslayer like, so I'm back. I'm here. We exist. I love this moment too, because he was like, look, how are you going to do me like this? And she felt some kind of way, and I thought that was interesting. Like, look, like I betrayed you. You betrayed me. So I like the perspective, right? She felt betrayed, like you're going to do this because of some Lokis, bro. They're variants, and she is still unaware of how much she doesn't know about her past, right? And she ends up wanting to call the team to come get my man. So, you need to come get him. And you come to find out this sequence right here is amazing, right? Like, is that B-15? Is that character's name? What's that character's name? The black chick. Is it B-15 or something like that? It's some letter and numbers. I don't know her name. She sounded like a Star Wars character. I love this, right? Because instead of because they don't have the ability to wake them up. They don't have Sylvie's ability, right? They can't be like, oh, let me unlock you really quick, right? So I loved this part because it was very clever. It's like, all right, I'm gonna lure you to where this person is from, right? And then I'm gonna have you see her and be like, yo, and he addressed her as whatever her status is in the TVA. And she was like, what the hell is going on? He's like, no, that's not her, bro. That's not the person you know, even though that's the person you know. I thought that was brilliant. That was such a cool way of showing or helping them get to that point of like, oh, something's up here. You know what I'm saying? Without Sylvie having to, do her little magic touch. You got the touch. But this whole moment here was awesome. When you had, let me see if I could scroll through this. This explanation of this character, because they asked him, what's your name? Right? What's your name? Who are you? He was like, oh, I've been called many things. Because they even said, right? Like, what's the comic reference that they called him? Oh my God, I'm brain farting right now. Let me know in the chat. It was, oh my God. Why am I brain farting right now? The comic reference they actually called him when he got in there. I know you guys are gonna get me in the chat. Get me in the chat. Help me out real quick. Oh my God. I don't know why I'm brain farting right now. Chat, help me out, bro. What's the name? What's his? What did Miss Minutes reference him as? The one who remains. Yes, he who remains. So that's a comic book reference, right? So I was like, oh, this is interesting, because that caught me off guard. I was like, oh, he who remains. I was like, oh, this is dope. This is dope. Okay, right? So that was exciting. But when she was like, oh, well, you know, what's your name? And he was like, oh, you know, I've been called many things. I've been called, you know, a ruler, a conqueror. A conqueror. Bro, I was like, you ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody. So this part was so dope to me, because obviously this variant, not this, you can call them a variant, but this timeline, this universe, because they even said there's multiple universes. This wasn't like timeline. It was like, look, there's multiple universes going on. So the timelines were universes that are created. So this other universe met another one, and they're like, oh, another one, and another one, and another one. And then we got this idea of, oh shit, some of these variants, like he said, are not, right? They're like, some of y'all are not good. Some of y'all are not. So I thought that was really interesting. I was like, okay, so some of you guys aren't good-hearted, aren't good people. So I thought that was mad interesting. I was like, okay. So now we have good variants of you, bad variants, very similar to what we saw with Loki, right? We had some, the core of them were the same, but they still had their own personality. Some were a little bit different than others, right? But this was dope, because he then talks about, I had to weaponize, what's his name? The dog dude, Eliath, weaponizes Eliath to take out the others, right? To take out the other variants of himself, to crush their universe, so there's only one timeline. This is interesting, though. Understand, though, the crazy part about this is this version is not Kang the Conqueror. That's not this version. He already took care, like this, what had just created, what just happened, creates Kang. And he even said at the end, when he gets the he was like, see you soon. Look, I know my variants. I'm telling you right now, they gonna get that ass. I promise you. That's wild, bro. So, and we'll talk about that as we get closer, but this sequence of them showcasing this was so dope to me. And his like, kind of like, I've been by myself all this time personality, like he's like talking to himself and he's very like, you know, sporadic. I love that. I love his personality. It fits it so well. But this kind of like display of things was really dope. And this moment here when he's talking about, you know, the whole war that took place, and you see the little tools that they have, right? What are those called? The little wands? That was what they use in the TVA. So this was really dope. This is actually really awesome. And it really begs the question of, did the timekeepers actually exist at one point before there were these robotic whatever? And if they did, were they variants of him? You know, were they 3 versions of him? I don't know. We don't really know the answers to that question yet, because they didn't really explain why did you create these robots? You know what I'm saying? What was that about? But having him understand of, you know, why they did the TVA the way they did, like, look, like, we're all evil here. Because, you know, Sylvie, she felt some kind of way, right? She felt some kind of way about the whole situation. And I thought that was interesting too, because she was like, I'm trying to do the right thing. It's like, bitch, we all evil here. We all bad people here. What we talking about right now? You trash, you trash. I thought that was brilliant, because it helps you put into perspective, right? You've been following Loki this whole time, thinking all the stuff that's happening to him is bad. But they want to make sure you realize, like, yo, understand, you are not good people either. Like, let's be completely honest right now. Y'all did some terrible stuff. So I thought that was really dope. I thought that was really dope. Doomday said, love that Adonis is happy. Look, bro, I will always give credit where credit is due. Always. Let's keep it a stack. If it's dope, it's dope. If it's not, it's not. And if it's good, it's good. But I'm not just gonna gas it to gas it, right? Now, the ultimatum he gives him is really interesting. Now, I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. The ultimatum, right? Look, you could either both of you take my place, right? Or kill me and let the timeline do what it does. That's wild. That's a wild scenario to think about. And, you know, him and Sylvie are sitting there debating over what's right, what should happen, right? And I loved this part of the episode because they're at odds because every person has their own perspective of what should be done, right? And because they've lived two completely different experiences, they have different perspectives on what should be done with the TVA. What should be done in terms of this whole timeline scenario. Joseph Ayo said the ring colors of multiverse in the episodes look like the Ant-Man quantum title. I'm not saying what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. Look, bro. I'm just saying. I like that Loki understands Kang copy, is what Doomday said. You know, I think it's one of the things of it's more so of the what's the lesser of two evils, right? And even in this scenario as well, like he understood, like, look, because this variant of Kang is saying, look, I've already done this already, and I promise you that war is a bad one. It's not a good scenario at all. So to prevent that from happening, because we have access to multiverses, we can only keep one timeline. Because if we don't, somebody is going to want to fight. They're going to want to take that control. So I thought it was illogical, right? It's the Thanos philosophy. Thanos philosophy was like, look, there's finite amount of this, so it is what it is, right? Like, I don't know what we're arguing about. We have to get rid of people. We have to get rid of people. And obviously Sylvie was not having that. Sylvie was like, I'm not with this at all. I'm not with it at all. And you can see Loki is like thinking like, okay, well, logically, this does make sense because we don't want an all-out war. And this is one of the things that Sylvie doesn't understand, because Sylvie grew up running, right? She grew up running away from the TVA, trying to take the TVA down for taking her away from her family. But she's never really been around people, had friends, had lovers, had family, and see these family battle and war and die. And, you know, she hasn't experienced that. Loki has. So Loki being Loki is like, look, I don't think you really know, like, and because he cares for Sylvie, he's like, look, I don't want to lose you. I don't want something bad to happen to you, because I've seen what this type of shit does. Like, I've seen what war and all this stuff does. So I just thought his perspective was spot on. And so was hers, because her perspective was, I'm tired of running around. They ruined my life. They took all these variants from all these places, away from their homes, away from their families, or whatever. Steve said, Sylvie on that Sasuke arc, but Loki isn't Naruto. Facts. Sylvie is on vengeance, right? She's vengeful. She's like, look, bro, I want revenge, bro. I want revenge. And man, we all know from all types of stories, revenge isn't the way to do it. It's not the move. But I love this moment here. This shot right here is almost like this whole like divorce, right? You have this circle and there's a crack literally in the middle of the circle that splits them into two. Like, the imagery here is so dope of like, we're not together. Like, brilliant. I thought it was dope. S said, I saw a lot of people shit on Sylvie, but people need to understand that this has been her entire life. Facts. She was running away her entire life, guys. Her entire life she's running. That's craziness. So pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Now, the moment that was really interesting, that obviously was the turn of the episode, is when this man right here he's like, look, it's time up. And the dope part was like, this was like at that point where he was like, oh, look, I kind of lied to y'all. I knew everything was going to happen up to this point. Outside of that, I don't know anymore. Which is kind of wild that there was a finite amount of time before he ran out of what was coming. He didn't know what was going to happen. Like, look, man, what y'all need to figure this out. Now that y'all here, you know, like, I'm not trying to kill y'all. I've been looking for a replacement. He's done. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of being by myself. I want to rest, bro. I'm over it. I'm done. Let me be. So that moment, there was a finite amount of time on that because he brought them there. He guided them there to replace him. Now they're there. It's like, look, y'all got to make a decision. I'm done though. I'm good. I don't need to make any more moves. I'm done. This is y'all now. What do y'all want to do with it? And this moment, bro, just had some amazing emotional tension. You know what I'm saying? Like, amazing emotional tension. I thought that was really dope. And, you know, Sylvie was like, all right, cool. You dead, homie. Like, Sylvie wanted to smoke immediately. Like, cool. I guess I got to kill you then, bro. Because she don't trust him. And that's Sylvie's thing. He was like, and this line was such a bar, bro. This line right here was such a bar. Sylvie was like, Loki was like, you can't trust anybody and I can't be trusted. That was such a bar. Like, that bar was so crazy. That bar was crazy. Come on, man. Come on. And this was the best fight in the entire series. The best fight. The best fight in the entire series. Even though, let's keep it a stack, out of 1 out of 10, the fight was still like a 6. It wasn't anything spectacular, especially in comparison to the other 2 shows. The weak side of Loki is the action. The action in Loki is subpar at best. Well, not sub, it's par at best, which was this scene. It's par at best. So yeah, that's the weak side of this show for sure, is the action. But luckily this one did deliver in ways that the other ones didn't, right? So that was cool. I did enjoy it. But I think it was more of the emotional tension. You know what I'm saying? Urban Reba said, I never went into the show for the fights. I mean, I never went into WandaVision for the fights. But WandaVision's action was better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't expecting action out of WandaVision. I was expecting action out of Winter Soldier and a Falcon Winter Soldier. And the action in that show was excellent, right? So, but again, it's not like what we're like I wasn't going in thinking, oh, Loki's action is going to be good. I didn't know there was going to be action in Loki. I didn't know what the show was going to really be based on. But if you're going to introduce action, I get to judge said action. And the action was doo-doo most of the time. Like, it was pretty bad most of the time. But with that being said, this scene did have a lot of emotional tension, a lot of like questioning, philosophy, a lot of that, which was really dope. And this was probably one of the best things that we saw when it came to utilizing the magic during the fights, which was awesome. I thought that was really cool, right? The one shot that was really dope was close to the end when he pops up. He pulls the instant transmission on that ass right here. I was like, oh, she comes in with the slow motion, like slow motion. Beep. He was like, hold on, hey, I'm here. Like, I was like, oh, that was dope. That was amazing. I thought that scene was awesome. They get this kind of like really heartfelt moment, obviously. I thought it was cute and it was honest. And I liked it. It didn't feel forced. Like he finally said how he really felt. She acknowledged that feeling, but also was like, I still got to do what I got to do. She turned him around, got the little dial, opened up the door, and sent him on his way. Right? And I thought that was, I don't know, I thought it was pretty brilliant that she did that. I just thought that was dope. He said, I think, this is, I'm the Dav. I think Gladiator is going to be the top bad guys, okay? Steve said, I agree with OG Loki. Loki needs to learn, lean into the sorcery much better than his fighting. I agree. Joe said, man kissed himself. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a little strange. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? It was a little strange. And I felt like their relationship, again, this moment, because of philosophy, because of Loki, and again, Tom really expressing these emotions through his acting, I felt more of how he wanted to portray the character in this episode than any of it prior, as far as his emotions were towards Sylvie. I thought that he delivered that really well. So, but even before this though, I never really bought into their romance, like, or his wanted romance. It never just landed for me. It was always kind of like, I don't know what it was. Maybe because we know that she's a variant of him, or they're variants of each other. Maybe that's why it kind of like, this is kind of strange. But even still, their chemistry just didn't feel like they were really there. So yeah, as Joe said, sometimes you gotta love yourself. I agree. So, ultimately though, we got to the part where she had to deliver the final blow. And that final blow was, stabbing my mans, which was kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, damn, like I thought she was gonna maybe have a moment of like, you know what, I can't do it, right? Nope, she did it. She did it with the quickness. I was like, damn, like almost zero hesitation with it, bro. I thought that was kind of wild. Then we get back to the shot where we see B-15 and Mobius in the TVA watching the timelines just literally go wild. Like we've only seen little branches here and there, and they snip it back. Nope, not in this. They're gone. They are toast. I was like, well, that's a thing. They just completely said nope. This shot is kind of wild, bro. Like seeing all the timeline just go. Now this is the point at which I was saying before, where I feel this series is taking place simultaneously with WandaVision. Now, the reason why I say that is this. At the end of WandaVision, the actual post-credit scene, Wanda is astral projecting while still doing regular stuff, which is kind of mind-boggling. But she hears her sons. Mom! Right? How do you hear your sons when there's only one timeline? To me, this happens at that time where she's astro projecting, hearing, oh shit, how do I hear my son right now? I think that's this moment that branches started going off, right? So that's what I'm thinking right now. Which could not be, but I'm thinking because this is what really creates this ridiculous multiverse is the reason why she hears her kids. So yeah. Obviously Loki's sitting here thinking to himself, contemplating what's going on. Now, this sequence here is amazing. He's running back. I need to find Mobius. What's popping? He's telling him what's going on. Look, what's going on? Blah 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 blah. Mobius is like, cool. Who are you? What variant are you? And I was like, what? I was like, no way, no, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. So in my head, right when I saw this, I shit you not, I was like, is he not in his time right now, bro? Is he not? Did this shit already change? Did this shit already change? I was like, no way. And my man looks over, bro. And the face he makes, bro. This face right here, bro. Oh my, can I zoom in? Can I zoom? I can't zoom in. That sucks. I can't zoom in. I wish I could zoom in. I can't zoom in. But his face is so crazy. He said brain are white. I don't think the brain are wiped. I think that he's not in the universe that he was in. I think shit already split. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's you know what I'm saying? Like, he said Lang's backstory as a scientist was the best part, in my opinion. Correct. The backstory of him being a scientist was super dope. But I think in this, he went back and shit already changed. Correct, Kang. I kind of understood what you meant. In part confused me as I thought TVA existed beyond time too. Well, here's my thought on the TVA. I still think the TVA is in the quantum realm. I don't think the TVA is in another place. What we've learned in the MCU right now is the only way to time travel is in the quantum realm. That's the only way to do it that we know of already, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, Mobius, I think in first episode, Mobius states, time moves differently in the TVA. And the only time we've ever heard that almost verbatim statement was in Endgame when Ant-Man came back and was like, look, for you, it was in 5 years. For me, it was like 5 minutes or 5 hours, right? He's like, time moves differently in the quantum realm. So to me, I think the TVA is in the quantum realm. I don't think the TVA is like somewhere on the timeline. I think it's in the quantum realm. So that's what I'm assuming right now. I could be wrong, but I'll flesh this out. So, but this moment was awesome, right? Because we look over here and guess who is here? It's not the timekeepers that we saw before. This looks like the guy that got bodied just a minute ago, right? So in this is why I think this is Kang. Because if the TVA is in the quantum realm, if my theory is correct that TVA is in the quantum realm, Kang running the TVA here, or whatever this time shit is, would make sense if if the main villain of Quantumania is Kang. I'm just saying. Is that a possibility? I don't know. Maybe. Steve said, agreed, they are definitely in the quantum realm. Renslayer was from 2018, Kang from 31st century. Exactly. Exactly. Is it Gikundiro? Bro, I'm murdering your name right now. But he says, you might be right, because Renslayer said Mobius and her have been together through eons. Correct. Dijon Thompson says, yeah, the timeline Loki came to taking to B-15 and Mobius was changed. There was a statue of Kang sitting there that Loki was looking at. Correct. So for me, in this scene alone, I was like, yo, this was a crazy situation. Felt like that was a fantastic cliffhanger, right? And then obviously we get the, Loki returns in season 2 vibes, right? We get that, right? Loki will return in season 2. So this was that confirmation that we got. Season 2, confirmation. Now, where does this sit with everything, right? So the dope part about this is super interesting. Obviously, second season, we got that. But we're looking at timelines right now. Timelines right now. And let me pull this up. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is in 2023. Okay? 2023 is that movie. We have Doctor Strange, right? Multiverse of Madness comes out in 2022, right? So this is my theory, and this is my bigger theory right now. Okay. Let me just pull this up. The Marvel What If theory, series. Okay. Marvel's What If is in August of this year, right? Comes out in August. I think Marvel What If is because of this. What if Marvel What If is still connected to the timeline shit? It's not just this random animated show, that is actually tied to what happened in Loki. We also have No Way Home as well, right? So here's my thought. If that is the case, if what you see in that has some kind of, is some kind of reaction to what happened in Loki, and Loki season 2 is going to happen. Loki season 2 can set up Kang officially, because that comes out in 2023. So season 2 could come out a year from now. You see what I'm saying? It could come out next year. They could start shooting it within the next couple of months and have it ready for a July release next year for season 2 of Loki, to get everybody prepared for Quantumania. The play on the name He Who Remains, to me, mean He Who Remains of the versions of Kang. Correct. I'm with you 100% on that. 100%. But I feel this series is definitely a set up series. It's not really a confined story. And I think that's the only, it is, but it isn't, right? It almost creates more questions than it answers. Which I'm glad, because they have a season 2, right? And I can forgive that lack of finality because there's another season. It leaves on a cliffhanger, right? We figure out who is running the TVA, who the TVA is. Those 2 questions have been answered, right? So we did get those questions answered. But still remains is what's going on with Renslayer, right? What is now going to happen with the TVA, with whatever Kang is running it, right? If they're going to call him Kang, whatever. What's Miss Minute's whole vibe going to be? Is Loki still going to have access to that world at the end of time? Does that world still exist, right? Where he can go and see all the other variants of Loki. Do you think that OG Loki died? Because I don't think he died. Maybe he let Aliyah think he got eaten the same way that Thanos thought he killed him, and he's still alive somewhere. I don't know. But there's a lot that it poses a ton of questions still, right? And then these 2 versions of B-15 and Mobius, for some reason, they still got to the same end in time together. So we're not really 100% sure, like, what timeline is the main timeline right now. We don't really know that. And I think Multiverse of Madness is going to be an explainer of that, because that whole thing is going to be obviously a Doctor Strange story, but it's not going to be his responsibility to put the timeline back together. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to be his responsibility. But who knows? I think Jonathan Majors will be great after seeing this. So Kang knew he will be reborn. I feel like the real Kang was controlling everything and controlling the other version, and knew Sylvie will kill him. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know, bro. Maybe. I could have been a thing too, but I'm not sure. Chatty says, does Miss Minutes change with the timeline, or is she tethered to the Citadel and immune to the changes? That is a very good question. That is a very, very good question. We don't really know how powerful Miss Minutes actually is. We don't really know what Miss Minute actually is, right? Spider-Man in the multiverse. Right. Now, the Spider-Man in the multiverse is that whole question is really strange, right? Because obviously we know No Way Home, and this could affect No Way Home, obviously, from what we're seeing, if that Spider-Man is still within the MCU. So with that being said, does that mean, because he has the Spider-Verse thing, right? You had the Spider-Verse movie come out and he had all these other Spider-Men, right? But that movie is not really tied to the MCU. But then the MCU version, there's all these rumors that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are be coming back for versions of themselves. Could be interesting. What happened to Alligator Loki, though? I mean, Alligator Loki, he's still in that spot. They left, right? So Gakindiro said, I think Miss Minutes is for sure controlled by Kang, because she offered them an option. He was going to offer them. Look, I don't think that was the thing, because the version of Kang that they sat down with did not give them the ability. He was like, you guys are going to run the TVA. You guys are going to control the time now. That's your decision. He didn't say, hey, you're going to have this, you're going to have this, right? So his offer, when he brought them there, his offer was to say, hey, this is what you're going to do. Unless, to your point, if there was another Kang somewhere, and Miss Minutes is working for that Kang, and intercepted them as they walked into the Citadel. Not really sure, though. DC73 said, do you guys think Tobey will come in the upcoming Spider-Man? I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. Maybe, maybe not. It would be cool for nostalgia. I personally didn't like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Thought he was a good Peter Parker to a certain extent. I thought he was a better Peter Parker than he was a Spider-Man. And I think Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man than he was a Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was too cool to be Peter Parker. He was a little bit too cool. But yeah. Okay, I know what Marvel will do if I feel like they will do what they did with Thanos and put Kang in multiple movies to set him up as the big... I don't think he's going to be the big bad. I don't think Kang is going to be... I don't think they're going to set up a big bad. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think we'll probably get a big bad when we finally see an Avengers movie. This Kang we saw was Nathaniel Richards from the 31st Century. So, you think that was him? You think he was from the 31st Century? Is that what you think? So you think he's from the future? Is that what you're saying? Did he say he was from the future, or did he say he was from the past? It also might be in Fantastic Four. See, this is what I'm thinking. I think Fantastic Four is going to set up the main big bad, to be completely honest. The Fantastic Four is the first family. Like they're an icon in Marvel history, right? They just haven't really been done correctly. You know what I'm saying? So for them to finally be in the Marvel universe and the MCU finally, we get to see them be done properly and in a cohesive story. Because man, Reed Richards is that guy, like intellect wise, right? He would be like the new Tony Stark intellect wise, just on another level. Cause he's like the smartest human in Marvel. Legend has it, Toshi is a Kang variant. Neck the Conqueror, stop it. Yeah, I believe he said he was from the 31st. Got it. He said he was from the okay, got you. We don't know. He said the past Kang met up with multiple variants of himself, so we don't know. Correct. So, and that's the thing where it's like, okay, was he the one that was from the future, or was there another? Like, we don't know who was the first one to do it, but it is what it is. At least I don't remember. I could be completely wrong. I mean, I've only watched this one time. I need to watch it again for sure. Dijon said, I think this version of Kang was Immortus. Okay. Steve, I could see multiple variants of heroes having to fight in-game style final battle. Can bring anyone back against a big bad. Look, and there's the thing, right? Like, the opportunity this does bring up to bring back heroes and stuff like that is cool. I'm not going to lie. However, I want to make sure that those heroes do not come back permanently. I want to make sure that the heroes that are dead stay dead. The consequences need to matter, right? There needs to be like finality. Is that a word? Finality? I don't know. But there needs to be that. They're like, oh, this person is done. Cool. Right? I don't want to see Tony Stark. I don't want to see Iron Man. You understand? Like, I don't want to see Iron Man. Oh, there's another Iron Man movie coming out. I don't want to see that. We've had Iron Man. He had the best story arc you could ask for a character over an 18 movie story arc. He had the best, you know what I'm saying? The best story arc, bro. And he died, like his character in the first Avengers movie, when talking to Steve Rogers on the helicarrier, and he was like, you know, you would never jump on a grenade, you know, and save your, he's like, oh, I would just cut the wire. And Steve was like, so that's it, what's up with you? There's always a way out, right? He's like, well, bro, like, what the fire? Just cut the wire, bro. There was no way out. There was only one way, was to sacrifice himself. From the first Avengers movie to the last one, that flipped. There was no cutting the wire. He had to jump on the landmine, bro. He needs to be done. I want to make sure that stays there because that was such a great way for his story arc to end. So if they're going to utilize the multiverse now to bring characters back, they need to be in and out. They can't be like, oh, let's call up Tony. Hey, Tony, I love things you do. I don't want to see that, bro. Personally, I don't want to see that. Do you think Loki, Tom, will come out alive at the end of all this? Interesting thing I've been thinking about. It's a good question. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you, bro. I don't know how I feel about it. A part of me wants him to, but a part of me wants him to be a part within some kind of overseer type of vibes, right? Not necessarily a main component in Marvel, just somebody that may do some kind of checking of time. I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure yet. That's personally just my opinion. Apple said, we should all thank Sylvie for allowing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to be in the MCU. And there is no consequences in the multiverse. It's the Marvel fake death universe after all. I mean, look, I think in this scenario, like, look, I don't know about all that. I hope that death is permanent here. That's what I hope. So yeah, I want him on the outside of the story, messing with time a bit. See, I think his character has already evolved. We don't need him to backtrack, right? So he needs to stay on that path. He's already improved himself in becoming somebody that wants to be trusted, right? So him doing mischievous stuff would actually go against his current character development. So I don't think that would be smart to do writing wise. Courtney Irby said, "This is what I'm afraid of in the long run. Just constantly reviving a character, but slightly different. Hope we don't go full Marvel Comics where death is a suggestion." I mean, look, in this, here's my thing. The MCU is one continuous comic book story. And as opposed to comic book runs, right? Where there's a run of an issue, like, oh, there's the 10 comic book run of this version of the Avengers. But that version of the Avengers is the version of this Avengers. Like think of the MCU as one comic book run. The entire MCU. Not Infinity Saga's over, now we're going to refresh the universe and bring some characters back and start something new. Like, no, it's a continuous story. So if you look at it from that perspective, we shouldn't have characters come back in a major way. If they do come back because of multiverse moments and they show up in certain fights and stuff like that, cool. But besides that, them being in the main timeline, that needs to, I'm hoping that that's the thing. I hope that is final. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. But yeah, so my rating on this episode. On this episode, I'm going to give Loki an 8.5. I think that's might be the highest I've given any of the episodes when we talk about it on the Cyber Hype. If you guys are unaware, me, Toshi, and my brother do a podcast every Tuesday and Thursday called the Cyber Hype. We talk about Loki on Thursday. So we will be having a discussion on the Twitch channel on Thursday. Toshi won't be on that one, but V will be. So me and him will be talking about Loki, having a discussion about it, both of our thoughts, theories, X, Y, and Z. And that link is in the description box. But 8.5 for me on this episode. Now, how do I rank Loki with the other two series, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier? As an overall series, right? I want to give you context really quick. Shu, I did not see Black Widow. No. I'm really not excited to watch it, to be honest with you. I'm not really excited to watch it. But how I'm going to rate this. I'm going to be rating the episode, the series based on the story that they told, not what they're setting up. The actual start to finish, what was the story, the how they told the story, the uniqueness, the acting, the graphic or CG, if you want to call it CG, the set design, and the artistic quality. These are things I'm going to be judging it on, and obviously like music, right? But the like cliffhanger or what it's going to be setting up, that's fine, but that's not the story that they're trying to tell. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what happened in the story is what it's going to be changing. That's neither here nor there. What did the story do? And for me, WandaVision is still number one, primarily because I think it was brilliant how they incorporated set design per episode based on the eras of TV. And then you see that tie in to her past in the Agatha Harkness episode, when you see her family going through a war-ridden time, and they escape that by watching sitcoms. And that's why she was like, these are her happy moments. So she's recreating these things in these worlds that she has because she's in so much pain. I think the artistic quality of WandaVision is unreal. It's actually kind of wild to think about. And then obviously her arc in there, you made me care about characters that I honestly did not care about. I did not care about Wanda or Vision in the MCU, be completely honest with you. I didn't care about them. I knew nothing about them really. So for me in this, I was like, man, I really like you guys. Like, I really like what's going on here. I like the complexity a lot. And then the action, when the action did come, was solid. But the set design was incredible. The costume was awesome. The acting was amazing. It really showed, I keep forgetting the actress's name that plays Wanda, but she showed so much range. Oh my God, her range was amazing. I was like, dude, like you literally switched up every episode, a different era of acting in sitcoms. That's wild to do. Like, just think about that really quick. That's kind of crazy. And Paul Bettany, like we've known Paul Bettany is an amazing actor, but like I haven't really seen her really flex. And she flexed out of line in that series. And then the setups in like the Easter eggs that popped up in that were awesome, right? And obviously the Petro situation was, you know, a misdirect, but it was awesome nonetheless. Second, and this is the I don't know right now. I'm in a pickle right now. But I think right now how I'm feeling, it might be Falcon and the Winter Soldier in number 2 and Loki number 3. I think the current nature and the sub message in the subliminal messages inside of Captain America Winter Soldier I liked. I never ever liked Falcon. Ever. I've never liked Falcon, and I really do not care for Anthony Mackie as an actor prior to Falcon and Winter Soldier. I always thought he was given characters in other movies or TV shows that were supposed to have sauce or be a badass, but his personality just doesn't have that charisma to deliver that badassery that I would like. So I never really liked him. This series made me like him a lot. I was like, yo, this is dope. So I really like that. Sebastian Stan killed. I was like, okay. Bro, anytime I think of Anthony Mackie, bro, I'm sorry. I just think of Papa Doc. That's the first thing I go to. Like, bro, you're Papa Doc, bro. Your real name's Clarence, bro. Like, that's what I think of. So, but like him when he did, what's it called? What was that movie on Netflix? It was a second season, Altered Carbon. I could not stand him in that series at all. It felt forced. It felt like, dude, like you don't really have the sauce to deliver this right now. And that's just how I felt, right? But the action in that show, I mean, the first episode, the wingsuit, bro, come on. The action scenes in Falcon and Winter Soldier were A1, S tier. They were incredible. They were really dope action sequences. Really emotional moments. I really, really liked it, and I really believed it, right? Obviously, my lived experience being an African American in the States, some of the things they were talking about resonated with me more than some that may not have that lived experience, right? So that's a subjective thing. So for me, that's how, you know, it pulls some emotional heartstrings for me. I saw some people saying he could have stayed as Falcon, an original character, and not Cap. Sure. The Loki show. All right, so let me rate the first two. So WandaVision as a series, I rate as a 9. Overall as a series, I think the series is incredible. I felt like everything mattered. Episodes mattered. There wasn't a ton of fat in that series at all. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I give that an 8.5. I thought, again, a lot of stuff mattered. There was a couple, you know, low moments that were a little bit too much, and the I keep forgetting the villain organization didn't really have the oomph that it really needed. You know what I'm saying? It was good, but it could have been better. And I think how it was handled was kind of like, So let me be honest. Let's go 8. Let's give it an 8 because of that. I feel like the organization just kind of didn't really deliver the way that I wanted it to. It was a little lackluster. Let's keep it a stack. Loki, as a series, I give a 7. For a couple of reasons. One, the action was just, it was average at best, like I said. Flag smashers, yes, thanks, Justin. Average at best on the action. I love the set design. Set design was awesome. The CG was amazing in the series. The acting, most times was really good. The chemistry between Loki and Sylvie, I did not buy at all until the very last moments of the last episode. Episode 3 was a waste of time. It was literally like what you learned in episode 3 of everybody being variants could have been slotted in another episode. That episode did not need to be there. In a series that only has 6 episodes, all episodes, the time matters at that point. So it's like, cool, like we understand, yeah, they wanted to have the moment of them sitting there like, or you know, being stranded on this world or whatever. So they had that episode after that showed them sitting there, all hope is lost. I get it, fine. But it was just very like, y'all could have done a different way. That episode felt like a waste of time. The only information we got from that episode was that there were variants. That's it. So, and the episode that a lot of people liked, episode 5, I thought was okay. Primarily because it didn't really get us anywhere. The things that showed up there didn't really mean anything. We had this whole meeting of all the Lokis. That fight was terrible. It was almost like, I remember we had talked about this right after it happened. And then I had started watching people's reviews. And John Campia was talking about on his, and he described that fight in a way that I knew. I just couldn't explain it to Toshi and V on the Cyber Hype. But it was like watching the Jim West Batman without pow and bang. That's what it reminded me of. It felt goofy. I was like, okay, all right. And all the promo material for the show, you had President Loki. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be dope. And it meant nothing. I was like, all right, cool. That episode was dope because of the Easter eggs in the scenery. But besides that, I was like, all right. And then obviously the OG Loki, I loved his character. I loved the actor that played his character. Oh my God, he was amazing. But outside of that, I was just like, episode 5 was cool. It wasn't anything. I think I gave that episode a 5 or a 6. And keep in mind, guys, I do not grade or rate these like grades in school, by the way. So if you're like, oh, 6, that's a D. No, 6 out of 10 means the majority of it I liked. 4 of it, which is the minority, I didn't. So I hope that you guys can grasp that I'm not saying I don't like the series, but there are things that I really just was like, I felt like this could have been handled better. I loved Owen Wilson and Tom's dialogue together. I thought their stuff was amazing. Their relationship, Mobius and Loki, I loved their relationship. I wanted more of them. I wanted more of them over him and Sylvie. 100%. Courtney Irby said, OG Loki killed that. He was amazing in that episode. But I feel like that episode was more fan servicey on the Easter eggs than actual story progression. It was just like a whole bunch of, I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah, I don't know. I low key wanted more. Shut up, I'm done. Not I low key wanted more of him. So yeah, I think overall, Loki as a series, I'm giving a 7. I'm giving, like I said, Falcon Winter Soldier an 8, and we're giving WandaVision a 9. But overall, man, what Marvel has done with the MCU shows, wow. Like, Marvel has literally changed the game in comic book TV shows, bar none. Period. Right? Like before this, the pinnacle of TV superhero shows was Arrow season 2, Flash season 2. Right? That was like the pinnacle. Right? And if you're talking about streaming services, Daredevil. All of Daredevil, I think, is awesome. Second half of season 2 of Daredevil was kind of but Daredevil on Netflix was awesome. But that was kind of really it. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of really it. Musa, what up, bro? He said, "Hey, what up, G? I'm good, bro. We over here doing this thing." Just said Marvel is taking over. It's unmatched. It's unmatched in its live action adaptations, 100%. 100%. DN-D2 says, yes, more of Mobius and Loki time traveling, Loki kung fu fighting, Loki 5, Falcon 9, Wanda 9. Marvel is doing a great job. Yeah, bro. Okay, so you give Loki a 5, got you. Falcon 9, Wanda 9. To me, the biggest thing that carries Loki is its ramifications for the rest of the MCU move forward. Look, and again, this is what I was saying. How I'm rating the shows are the story that they were telling from start to finish. Not what does this do, right? Because if we're looking at ramifications, right? Wanda becomes Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch, we know how crazy Scarlet Witch is, right? We then see at the end, she's astral projecting while making coffee and tea. I'm like, yo, that's wild. That's kind of crazy, bro. Knowing that she's that powerful, hearing her kids, you're like, oh, what the hell is going on? Again, if you guys are just coming in now, I had talked about the timeline splits in this episode, I think, are happening simultaneously with the end of WandaVision. When she's hearing her kids, I think that's a result of this moment happening at the end of this episode of the timelines going wild. So I do think that is what's going on here. But yeah. But I definitely agree with you. Like the ultimate ramification of what took place at the end of this definitely is going to affect what's happening. And it's dope that we have characters that can traverse, right? And because the main core of the Avengers have the ability to time travel through time with the quantum stuff that they have, that's a whole other situation. Justin Pearson says, I don't understand why Warner Brothers can't figure out how to imitate what Marvel is doing for DC. Well, first and foremost, Justin, I can understand why you would want to think that. However, I don't think they need to imitate Marvel at all. I think that's been their issue, is that they've been trying to imitate Marvel. DC by default, just in comics, is a darker universe than Marvel. It is way darker, right? So when you have these movies and the Warner Brothers execs are saying, hey, you know, we need to make people like these the way that they like Marvel movies, and we need to add these comedy quips here and there, blah, blah. I mean, that's fine, but don't take away from the soul of DC. Keep in mind, the only movies that we know of that have been really nominated based on actual shit and have won Oscars in comic book movies are from DC films. Both of them being Batman characters, both of them being the Joker. So let's just keep it a stack here, right? They've been able to create epic movies that don't need to be connected in a universe the way that Marvel is. They don't need to do that. Could it be cool to have individual movies and have little tie-ins here and there and have a team up somewhere? Sure. DC, the reason why DC is different is because they have the Flash. They don't need to connect all these universes and have these characters play in the same world, and they don't need to do that. You can literally have Flash go recruit motherfuckers from different times or different universes if he wanted to. Then just fucking do that. You can do something different. You have the Flash. You don't need to do what Marvel is doing. Do your own shit, right? Some things translate well, cool, but trying to do that, and that's been DC's fault. I don't want to say DC's fault, Warner Brothers' fault. They They ruined Justice League because of that. They brought in Joss Whedon. He did the first 2 Avengers movies. You brought in Joss Whedon to reshoot and cut the movie that Zack Snyder shot as sequels to Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. After meddling already in Batman v Superman, you said it was too dark and it was too long. Okay, cool. So you took 30 minutes out of actual stuff that needed to be in the movie. It made a worse movie and people hated it. And then when people saw the Ultimate Edition, they were like, yo, this is a much better movie. What is going on? Then we saw what you did to Justice League. Then we saw what you did to Suicide Squad. If you guys go back and watch the first trailer for Suicide Squad. And then watch the later trailers. They turned into a music video. What the hell is going on? It was so much darker. I was like, what's going on? So, I don't know, bro. DCC needs good script writers. Start there. It's been very bad. Look, bro, I think this is my personal opinion. Watching Man of Steel, BVS, Ultimate Edition, and Snyder Cut, I love what's being told there. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's not true Superman. Well, he's still trying to become Superman, right? That's the whole point of him falling from grace early on. Him not really getting it right early on. I like that they have immediate consequences. In real life, Superman's he's trying to defend, he's trying not to die. He's getting slaughtered by a dude. We're not going to go all crazy on DC right now. We're talking about Marvel stuff, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I think that there's a lot of it has to do with Warner Brothers, personally. But I need to know your guys' thoughts on this, man. Loki, episode 6. Do you wish it had more? Do you wish it was a longer episode? I felt it was the only critique that I have of the episode. I think the reason why I gave it, did I give it an 8 or 8.5? Not really sure. I think it's 8 or 8.5. Whatever it is. The reason why I think it wasn't a 9 or a 10 for me is this should have happened in the previous episode. I said this on the Cyber Hype. You guys can go back and watch that from last week. It still should be up there, the VOD for that. Episode 5, that tonality of that episode should have been episode 3. The whole lighthearted, comedic, multiple personality, that whole vibe should have been episode 3. Episode 4 being what it was, and then, whatever. Episode 5, getting into the Citadel, sitting down with Kang, talking about who he is, blah, blah. And then after that, episode 6, having some kind of debate on what are we going to do? Are we going to take him out? Or are we not going to take him out? Well, I don't know. We decide to take him out, Loki, all the shit that takes place in this or whatever, and then we figure out something else going on with Renslayer. They could have done a little bit more. I feel like the pacing was off, and Kang should have been revealed in episode 5. That's just how I thought it should have went. Deanne D2 said Loki has potential to be more. Kang should have had another episode. I'm telling you, this episode should have been episode 5. Like the first half of this episode should have been episode 5. It should have tied into them beating Goliath and getting to the gate, going inside, talking to Miss Minutes, all that, and then we get to the door opens and it's Kang there, and he was like, I've been waiting for you. Done. Who is this guy? Who is this? That's how you end episode 5. Episode 6 starts where they're going down and stuff. They're talking about the shit. Like, there could have been, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, but I wish Kang had more screen time, but it seems that's what the other movies are for. I think he's going to be in season 2 before he's in Quantumania, personally, but I could be wrong. They're doing a Loki season 2 primarily because what happened, and this is my hypothesis, is because what happens in Multiverse of Madness does not fix this. So there is a Loki season 2 to figure out how does he get back from whatever, how does he fix what's going on, and then Quantumania happens with Kang. I think that's kind of where it's gonna go. I think Multiverse of Madness is more so of Doctor Strange figuring out what's going on, how Wanda did whatever, however that's tied in, but I don't think he's going to be able to fix the multiverse. Justin said, I wish it would have given us visual flashbacks or whatever versions of Kang he was talking about. I mean, you could have done that for sure. That could have been cool. But I do kind of like the whole, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I do like the whole use of what they showed here, because it honestly looked like some DC shit, to be completely fair. It looked like the mother box shit when it, oh, not the mother box stuff, but the alien spacecraft, the Kryptonian spacecraft, where I like showed like, you know, backstories and shit. That's what it reminded me of. Courtney said, then we spend more time with him, then have the one we meet in the movies be a huge juxtaposition to the version of Kang. Correct. Amdow said, I think the one of the Citadel, God, is going to be the big bad. One of the Celestials, God is... I don't know if God is going to be... I don't think they're going to fight God. I don't know if they're going to fight God, though. Maybe not. But the greatest thing now is you have Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four has arguably some of the greatest villains. You know what I'm saying? The Fantastic Four has some villains, bro. So I don't know, man. There could be some really crazy shit that goes down. But yeah. But guys, this has been super fun, bro. Let me know your guys' thoughts, man. Make sure you guys hit the like, bro. Share this video out to everybody that hasn't been here before. They want to get some thoughts on Loki season 6 finale, my thoughts, talk about spoilers, things like that, obviously theories, things like that, bro. Exactly, Dr. Doom, bro. Yes, Doom is crazy, bro. Doom is so tight. So yeah, but yeah, it's been fun, man, chatting with you guys. I'm gonna get off of here and go get some sleep. And just so you guys know, the reaction to Slime 15, or is it 15 and 16? Yes, it should be up in about a minute. So, yeah. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys later, bro. I appreciate you for stopping by. Smack the like, hit the share, leave a comment, and we out this thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We rocking. We rocking.